For all you ground-uppers out there, this podcast is for you.
Hey guys, this is the FANA Fan Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Topless, and for all you ground-uppers out there, this podcast is for you. And tonight we're back with our thoughts. We're going to be predicting where every team in the Premier League is going to finish in the Premier League table.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go alphabetical order through the team, starting with A all the way to Z, even though there's not a team with Z. So the first team is Arsenal. So what we're going to do is we are going to guess where Arsenal is. Now, the reason the table's like this, 1 to 4 is in green because that's the Champions League places. Number 5 is Europa League places, and 18 to 20 in red is the teams what's going to get relegated. So, Arsenal first. What's your predictions for this season, Jake?
Arsenal, I mean, they've signed Ben White, which I think is a good signing for them. But I think they need a bit more than Ben White if they want to start competing again. They don't inspire me at all. Saka's had a really good tournament for England. But again, I don't really see anything special about him, if I'm honest. This is what I've seen. So I'm going to say 8th for Arsenal.
8th. Very interesting. So that you're saying that they're not going to be in Europe for 2 seasons in a row?
Yep. I think they will be, no.
Well, I'm also going to be matching. I'm also going to be matching. I've said 7th. I agree. Ben White, I do think, is a great signing, but is he worth 50 million? Maybe not. And
debatable.
It was only last season.
You do pay a premium for English players, though.
Yes, that is true. I mean, you got to look at Maguire with the 80 million. That says it all.
Yep.
But I just feel like they don't have that much firepower anymore. Yes, they got Aubameyang and Lacazette, but if they're not on their game, there's no firepower going forward. And I think they're going to miss out on Europe again.
Yep.
The next team, Aston Villa.
It's an interesting one, this one, because I think they'll lose Grealish. I saw in the press, it's expected to be accepted. When you see things like that, you think he's going in. I think he'll want to go to City, definitely. I mean, it's debatable whether City need that many attacking midfielders. You've got to leave someone big out, or someone's going to have to leave City if they do get him in, I suppose. There is talk of Leon Bailey coming in. I mean, again, good player, but unproven in the Premier League. Tough one. I'm going to say 11th.
11th. So
yeah.
You think
I don't think they'll go down. I don't think they'll be relegation fodder, but with 100 million, I think if they sign Leon Bailey, I think they'll end up signing somebody else as well. Someone big for them who should have a big enough impact for them. I don't think they'll be relegation fodder. I think they did really well last season. So I think they'll continue that. I mean, Grealish would be a big loss, don't get me wrong, but I think, again, they've got good enough players in there to keep themselves in the Premier League, definitely. And I think even more than relegation battle.
Yeah, I also agree. I do feel like Grealish will be a loss. The fact that he's a Villa fan, he's been there for so long. It's a bit like Sheffield United losing Sharp because he knows the club inside and out. 11th, that's where they finished last season as well. So your prediction are going to be finish the same. The thing is with Villa, they had a really strong start to last season. They just dipped off towards the end. And if they do lose Grealish, like you said, it's looking ever so likely. I don't think they're going to finish 11th again. I'm going to go for 14th. I don't think they're going to get relegated either. I do feel like they have got a side what's strong enough to compete in the Premier League now. But it's going to take a lot to replace Grealish. They got the money, but it's whether they invest it wisely and if they've got time to. So next is the new boys, Brentford.
Well, especially new boys when they come into Premier League always give a good fight when they get into the Premier League. And I think Brentford will do the same. I think they've got a good team. I think they'll love it in the Premier League. I think they're going to finish 12th.
Ooh. Why 12th?
I've got a feeling that they'll put up a good fight. They've got a decent team. They've been hovering around the Premier League for years to come. They finally got it. I just don't see them being complacent. I think they're going to want to stay here. The new stadium is going to help them out an awful lot. I just think they've got a decent side as well. I think if they add to that, which they probably will do before the end of the transfer window, I think they'll put up a good fight. So Brentford, I'm going to say that's why I think they'll come 12th. They might have a relegation scare, but I think they'll come out of it.
No. My issue is Ivan Toney. He did great in the Champions League. He deserves this chance to go and play Premier League football, whether he stays at Brentford or
Championship,
moves to another team.
Champions League.
Sorry, but I feel like Brentford are going to rely on him to get the goals, and if he doesn't get the goals, I think they'll struggle.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 17th. I think they'll stay up, but just.
Okay.
Next, Brighton.
Now, this one's one of the ones I didn't want to answer. It's a tough one. They've lost Ben White. Who have they brought in?
I'm not too sure about the signings of Brighton, if I'm being quite honest. Let's have a quick look if we can.
Because again, they've been hovering around it for a while.
That's the thing with Brighton.
Those teams, aren't they? They play them away and they'll put up a good fight. I think they'll have a relegation battle on their hands. Brighton, I do, but I think they're going to get out of it, and I think they'll only just get out of it. So I'm going to say 17th.
Brighton, 17th.
I think this will be their biggest relegation scare since they've been in the Premier League this season.
Well,
but I think they'll get out of it.
Brighton, like you said, they're one of those teams where they tend to be in a relegations battle, but coming towards the end of the season, especially like last season, they found a bit of form and then they just went up and up other leagues. But this season, losing Ben White, if I'm right, I believe they signed a goalkeeper and a midfielder from RB Salzburg.
Yeah.
But
unproven in the Premier League, though, isn't it? You've got to remember that.
I think this is Brighton's time. I'm going to go 18th.
Interesting.
So next, after Brighton, Burnley.
We're not going to be in agreement on who goes down.
No, but who's next then? So we've got Burnley next.
Burnley, another tough one. They're a deaf side, aren't they? Burnley are an absolute deaf side. I'm going to say 15th. I don't think they'll go down. I think they've got, again, good players. Sean Dyche, a very experienced manager. He's got a lot of experience in the Premier League. I think he'll still keep them there. I'm going to say 15th, yeah.
Now, this is the thing with Burnley. They had that great season where they ended up playing Europa League football. And when you look at that team, it was just literally them scraping 1-0 wins every week. and they was really solid at the back. I don't feel like they're that solid at the back anymore. Going forward, they've got some decent strikers, but I think this is going to be the first position we're both agree on, and I'm going to agree with 15th as well.
Okay. Something we finally agree on.
Next up is the current Champions League holders, Chelsea.
Well, first full season with Tuchel. He's been fantastic since he's come in. I don't think they win the Champions League if he doesn't come in and they stay with Lampard. That doesn't happen for me. But can they break the current cartel in the Premier League of Man City and Liverpool? The answer for me is no. I do think they'll come third.
You think they'll come third?
I don't see him beating Man City or Liverpool in the league still.
Well,
no bias in that, by the way.
This is the thing, though. If you go on last season, Chelsea 3-1 winners against Man City. So under
that's the thing, though, mate. It's only beating them when they play them. Are they going to have the same pressure to the other teams, or are they going to get complacent again?
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem. Because Tuchel, how many league titles has he won? He won a few with PSG, didn't he?
Yeah.
How many did he win with Dortmund?
I don't think he won one, did he? I think
there
it was.
There's your answer. There's your answer. We don't know that he's won one with Dortmund. I mean, PSG. It's a lot easier to win the league with PSG than it is with Dortmund. So again, the Premier League even harder than that. So you've got to really think about that. I don't think he'll have a good season with them. Definitely, first full season. But yeah, I don't see him. He might Liverpool. He may very well do, but that is not enough. You've got to beat everybody else as well. And with teams like Brentford in the league, I think Brentford will take points off the teams when they go to Brentford's ground. Burnley are always hard to go to. I think Norwich might put up a good fight this season. Watford are back in. All the promoted teams always put up a good fight at home. Going to places like Leicester, Old Trafford. They're not always designed for you.
My issue, I've always said this, that I think it's harder for a London team to win the Premier League than for any other team, just because of how many teams there is London-based in the Premier League.
A lot of rivals, isn't there? Yeah. London derby, they always say, isn't it? Who you play.
So I don't think they're going to win it. If you're looking at last season's stats, the 10 draws, if they change a lot of them, turn a lot of them draws into wins, I think they'll finish higher than 4th.
Yep.
And I'm going to say 2nd. I think.
I want to see you on your table now, mate.
Now, if the rumours become true and they do sign Haaland, that is a big statement from Chelsea as well. I think at the back with Silva, he is aging, but they've got that experience, got that captaincy, got that leader. Mm-hmm. It's just going forward. What they need, that striker, what's going to get goals, a proper number 9. And if they do get him, 2nd.
Yeah.
Next.
Fair play. Yeah, he's a good striker. Don't get me wrong, definitely. But again, is he going to cut in the Premier League? I think he will. I think he's doing enough to, definitely. But again, they've got to sign him first. Yeah. His agent is a hard work to deal with.
It will be tough to him. It may not happen. It may happen in January. But if it does happen, they've got a great striker. And in terms of the Premier League, I do think he'll be very successful. He's done great in the Champions League, so he's just not known for scoring goals for Dortmund in the Bundesliga. So next up on the list is Crystal Palace. They've got a new manager in charge in Vieira. What's your thoughts?
Patrick Vieira. Now, who else has he managed?
No big names.
Exactly. Now that's a gamble, a big gamble. And last time Crystal Palace took a gamble on a manager, Frank de Boer, should I say, lost the first 4 games. I mean, and that is a worry, a big worry. I'm going to say, I'm going to call. I think Crystal Palace might go down. I'm going to say 19th. I don't know. I think Patrick Vieira is going to be a success. I know he's been a great player in the Premier League in the past, but as a manager, it's a whole different thing. I just don't see. I don't see him doing it. That's my opinion on that one. So I'm going to say Palace to go down.
Now, this is the thing with them is I do think Palace will be in and around the relegation zone. The main thing is keeping hold of Zaha. He's their main threat. And Eze. But there's one spot which I think they're going to finish, and it's 16th. I don't think they will go down. I think they've got enough to stay up. But I think they're going to be close.
Yeah. I think if you give a proven Premier League experienced manager, I think they stay up. Vieira's not that for me. I think he'll take them down.
Now, next is Everton. What's your thoughts on Everton?
Well, I'd love to say 20th, obviously. They've got who's the manager of Everton? It's not Santos, is it? It was Tottenham.
The Everton manager, I'm not too sure. It's Benitez. Rafa Benitez, that's the one.
Christ. No wonder I forgot. Well, Rafa, again, he's proven Premier League quality. He's brought a few new signings in, He's brought a striker in. Brought a midfielder in. Forgot who he signed. Well, obviously, from a Liverpool perspective, I'm gutted he's gone there, but obviously he's gone there because he lives in the city still, which, again, it's easier for him. I think he'll have a good season with Everton. I'm going to go with 9th. He's proven in the Premier League. He did it with Liverpool. He's done it with Chelsea. He's done it with Newcastle. I think he'll do it with Everton. As long as he doesn't take any points off of us, I'll be happy. But yeah, I think he'll get top half, definitely.
I agree. I also think they'll get top half, but I think they'll just get top half. And I think it's going to be a repeat of last season. I think they're going to finish 10th again. They're sort of one of those teams, Everton, where you predict them to be in or close to Europa League football, but there's always some point of the season where they have that bad spell, and that's where they plummet down the league. But yeah, 10th. They're going to same as last season. I don't think the squad is as exciting as what it could be. They got some big name players, but as a team, it's not that exciting. So 10th.
If they're Ancelotti in charge, I think I'd go higher. I think he might have been pushing towards top 4. I do with Ancelotti. I definitely think that, but yeah, don't see any more than that.
But he had a full season last season, and yeah, you can't maybe not wait wonders in a season, but to finish 10th, it's not that impressive.
No, it's not.
Next is Leeds. So they had an exciting start to the Premier League season last season. Am I right in saying they was unbeaten at home to the top 6 clubs?
Yeah, they were. Don't remember them beating anybody. Leeds, again, I don't see them going down. I think Bielsa will keep them going really well. He's got a good squad there. They're a daft side. I think they'll take points off of the big clubs again in the season. I'm going to say 10th for Leeds United. I think they'll get top half. Just. think the
Now,
manager knows what he's doing in
with
Bielsa.
Leeds, finished 9th last season.
Yeah.
I
don't see him going in any relegation trouble. No.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be in any relegation trouble. But I also don't think they'll finish as high as what they did last time.
Okay.
The thing is with Leeds is they don't draw that many. They're either win or lose. So I think a lot of the wins what they had last season are slowly going to turn into losses. And I'm going to go with 12th.
Interesting. Not fair play.
After Leeds, Leicester. FA Cup winners, Leicester.
Oh dear. This was a hard one, this. 6th.
Straight off the bat. Any reason to why?
After that. Well, for 2 years in a row, they've bottled it in terms of Champions League. They've got in there, and then they've just gone. It's right at the end of the season. And I think there's a difference in mentality between the big clubs and them. They may have acted like a big club in terms of ownership, but in terms of management, I don't think they have acted as a big club. I think Brendan Rodgers thought, right, I've won the FA Cup, that's it. I've ended the trophy drought with this club. I'm happy with that. Sun lounger, pina colada, please. That's what I think. I think after winning the FA Cup, in the league, if I could describe them in one word, I'd say garbage. Because they went straight down and lost the Champions League place. And I think they'll do the same again. I don't think they've got the mentality in the management of that team to get into the Champions League. And I think it shows when Brendan Rodgers managed Liverpool in the Champions League that year. He weren't big enough mentally. He was happy drawing 1-1 with Basel in that last game, knowing we'd fought for it in the last 12 minutes after Gerrard scored that free kick. I mean, even with Premier League, he was happy we finished second. I would have been happy finishing second after the position we were in. And I've been seething. And obviously we didn't expect to be there, but still, in that position. So, I don't see him getting Champions League again. They may push for Europa, but I don't think they'll get it. I think somebody else will get it.
Now, this is the thing with Leicester. I agree with you, like towards the end of last season, they won 1 of the last 5 games.
Yeah.
And that dropped them out of the Champions League. Liverpool winning 5 of the last 5 games, pushing them back up into Champions League spots. So a couple of results going for Leicester, and they take Liverpool's place. Or even Chelsea drop out. But with Leicester, they're always one of them teams. They are, if not in it, close to Europa League football. Now, I'm going to go with 8th.
Oh, interesting. 8th.
I feel like going forward with the strikers, they've got some decent strikers, Jose Perez, but I feel like maybe it was through injury, but Vardy towards the end of last season, he wasn't scoring like he did. He was contributing, but he wasn't scoring, and I feel like this could be the season where Vardy, I think he will get 10 plus goals, but I don't think he'll get as many as what he usually does. And his pace is threatening. He's the one where you can literally lump a ball up and he'll fight for it and he can get you into attacking positions. But I don't think he's going to have the best of seasons, and I'm going to go with 8th.
Okay. Fair point. I still think it will, though, but yeah.
Liverpool.
Right. Transfer window, Sean Canate, which I think is a good signing. The team stayed together. Shaqiri is probably going to leave. Still talk of a few possible incomings: Bernardo Sanchez, even Jared Bowen. Don't think we need Jared Bowen, to be honest. It might depend on if we do lose Origi and Shaqiri. If we do lose both of them, I think then yeah, fair enough, bring him in. Renato Sanchez again, midfield. If we replace Wijnaldum, I think we've got enough depth as it is. Oh, I'm going to say Liverpool are going to win the league. No bias. I think we're going to win the league. As biased as you like, I think Liverpool are going to do it. I think we finish the season really high. I think the team stay together really well. I think they're going to accelerate and do it. Come on, the Reds. I believe. Klopp's turned me into a believer from a doubter.
I'll just place them third.
You. Ooh.
I don't think there's no way.
I know you're going to do that.
There's
I
no
wonder who
way.
you think is going to win the league.
There's no way you're going to win the league, and I'll explain more.
Yes, there is a way.
When we go to it, but I feel like it'll be good to get Van Dijk back. It'll be good to get Gomez back. It'll strengthen your defense up. But Mane didn't exactly set the world alight last season.
That's the thing, mate. We've been so good for that long. I think it was a mental thing why we didn't win it. I think the fact that we've lost it, you know, we're falling a lot short this year. I think I'll spur him on a bit more. I think I'll make him a bit more hungrier. That's what I think as well.
I feel like you've won the Champions League, you won the Premier League. I don't think you're going to win it for a few more years now. And if you do, I do think you are going to have to spend big. Because at some point, your Salahs, your Firminos, your Manes are all going to have to be replaced. There's only so much. And I'll explain more when I choose who the winner's going to be. But I just feel like the strength and depth what you have at the moment isn't as good as what it was a few years back. So if you pick up a few injuries, it could happen.
It could happen, as we've known. Yeah.
And then I think that's you going to be having to come January, get into the transfer market, trying to replace him. And I feel that was one of Klopp's downfalls last season in terms of he knew Gomez and Van Dijk were out basically for the season, and he didn't really replace him. He bought someone from Preston, but I don't think he ever started a Premier League game. So
any game.
He bought cover for cover, not anything else. So I feel third at a push. Chelsea may finish third and you second, but we'll go on to it. We'll go on to it because it's the next team. I'll start it off. Manchester City first.
Second.
Now, I'm going to ask you first. Why do you think that they're going to finish second? What do you think is going to be their dip in form? For the reason.
Well, if they sign Grealish, again, that's too many. For me, too many players in one position. It might upset the dressing room that players aren't getting in. You have to make a lot of changes. Some players aren't going to get as much game time as he had previously. Raheem Sterling, for example. I think it'd be a great signing. Don't get me wrong, Grealish, definitely. But they're going to have to sell somebody if you want him to be playing every week. I just think, they've been around there for a while. I just think Liverpool's hunger is going to come back, and I think Liverpool are going to outdo them. That's what I think.
Now, Manchester City. I feel like if they get Kane, to me, you got to hand them the title. They're replacing Aguero, which was sort of the number 9, but what's been there for years, with a striker. He can get you 30 goals a season. He'll definitely get you double figures. Last season, got the most assists and the most goals in the Premier League. And I do think 100 million for Grealish. I understand why it's 100 million. That's what Villa value him at, because they know they don't want to lose him, so they're going to get as much money as they can for him. So I can understand why Man City are going to have to pay big, but they're also going to have to pay big for Kane. So will both happen? Maybe, but I feel like signing Kane will do a lot more for Man City than what Grealish would. I agree, Grealish would be a great signing, but coming back to your point, they've got so many great quality midfielders. One of them's going to have to be dropped. And you got Gundogan, you got De Bruyne, you got Mahrez, you got Sterling, Bernardo Silva. And that's another reason why I think Manchester City is going to win the league, is because they have that strength in depth, what Liverpool don't. Even towards the defence, I feel like they got more strength in depth. But I do think a lot of it will rely on who they link with if they do win the league.
Fair point.
And if we go to the red side, Manchester United.
4th. I think they've made some good signings, definitely. But again, I think the manager's still a bit inexperienced, Ollie. And I just think there's 3 better teams in the league than them. I think
I agree.
You do the same.
Yep, I've put Manchester United 4th. Sancho,
Great signing.
it's a great signing, but he didn't play much in the Euros. He probably didn't have the best of years at Dortmund as of previous years, but is that because he's been linked with Manchester United a bit? I feel like he's wanted this move for a while. It is his time to shine. Varane, I think that is a great signing. It's going to be maybe stable the defence a bit, but I still feel like Manchester United's attacking options aren't as good as the others. I mean, Cavani's good, but he is coming of age. It proved us all wrong with that last season. But I don't think
Cavani, very good striker.
I don't think the options behind him are the great. I don't think Rashford will have the best of seasons, if I'm being quite honest. Not Valencia. I can't think of the name now I'm talking about.
Who are you thinking of?
I was going to say, let me. I'm going to have to Google this.
What position are you thinking of?
He was the one that played basically the striker role for Man United last year. I did say Valencia, but it's not Valencia. Oh, Martial, that's the one.
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't feel like Martial's going to contribute with lots of goals. Jesse Lingard, will he get his chance? It'd be great to see him. He had a great season at West Ham and rejuvenised West Ham to a position of intent going forward, I think. So it would be good to see him. Mason Greenwood, he had a great season. Can I repeat it? But I just feel like when you look at Juan Mata still there, I don't feel like he'll play much. Daniel James is not really a favourite. So Scott McTominay, yeah, but he's more of the midfield. I just don't feel like the forward wise they've got the greatest or the most exciting goal scorers. So 4th, that's where I'm putting him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, next up, Newcastle. Where's Newcastle going to be for you?
Who have they signed?
If I have a quick look on top of my head, but I'm not too sure because I know Steve Bruce can be a bit tight with his money.
He normally does really well in the league for the first few years, but after a few years, he doesn't. He seems to blame players. They've not signed that many players. For me, Newcastle are going down. 18th.
Newcastle.
They do not inspire me at all. And from what I hear from my mate, I know it's only pre-season, but my mate Joe, who's a Donny Rovers fan, they did beat them, but he didn't really seem that inspired by them. I mean, St. Maximan's a good player, but they do not inspire me at all. Not at all.
I agree. In terms of going forward, they have got some attacking threat with pace. And I just feel like at the back, they're not the best. The midfield isn't the best. John Joe Shelby is sort of one of those where it can have a great game, but then he'll end up getting sent off. Yeah. The Newcastle fans don't want Steve Bruce to be there, which says it all. There was chanting. Was it you just a shit Steve Evans or something at the Rotherham game the other day? There was some sort of chant towards Steve Bruce. So I feel they're going to be 19th.
Even lower.
They've been in sort of relegation last season. Yeah. Just stayed up at the end, but I feel this season is their time to go down. And that's the thing with Newcastle, they can be a bit of a yo-yo club. So it's a bit like a Fulham. Now, next on the list is Norwich.
16th. They are a yo-yo club, but I don't think they'll go down this year. I think they'll put a bit more of a fight. I think they've come straight back up because, let's face it, when they were in the league, they were shocking. After that Man City game, they beat Man City, and after that, they were shocking. I think they'll learn from it this season. I think they'll put a bit more of a fight, especially if they stay together, which it looks like they are. I don't think they're going to lose anybody else. I think they're going to put a bit more of a fight this year, and I think they'll stay up. I think the manager as well will learn from that season in the Premier League as well.
I'm going to go with 20th.
I'm guessing you don't think they're going to learn from it.
No, I feel like this is the new Fulham. I don't think they'll spend big. I think they're going to try and rely on the squad what they've got now. Timo Pukki, he can score goals for fun in the Championship. Last time he came into the Premier League, the first few months he was on fire. Then he struggled, and I feel Norwich are going to struggle again this season.
Fair point.
And I feel like they're going to be the only team that gets promoted to get relegated.
Okay.
That's going to be 20th.
It's not giving away any other positions that we're going to put your teams in, but okay, let's carry on.
Well, Brentford are already 17th, and I've already put my relegation free in, so it shows. So next up, after Norwich, is Southampton.
Interesting one. They've done well under the manager. Very well. Still got the team together. I don't see them losing 9-0 this season, I'd have to say. I think they'll finish 14th. A modest 14th, I'm going to say. They're not anything too special, I don't think. I think the big teams will take points off them. But yeah, I think they'll get 14th. I don't think they'll go down.
I'm going to go with 9th.
Oh, interesting.
I feel like if Danny Ings gets back to where he is and Che Adams, that strike partnership, I think that's going to get him a lot of goals. Defence-wise is probably where they're going to have to fix up a bit more. You've got James Ward-Prowse to keep with him. He's got a deadly ball. He's great from set pieces. So I feel like this is their season to compete and
kick on a bit more. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with 9th.
Okay.
Next one is Spurs.
Ooh, Spurs. 5th. I think they'll be there or thereabouts. Well, they could lose Harry Kane, obviously. I think, well, whatever fee they get for him, they will replace him well with that amount of money that they'll get for him. Let's face it. What was it, 200 million? They could sign a big player for that. Apart from that, most of the teams stayed together, hasn't it? Apart from Alderweireld, he's left.
Yeah.
I think they'll obviously need to respond to last season. They were poor at times. Not all the time. They still got the season there to say that they're a good team. I think they'll challenge for Europe again. I think they'll get Europe, but not the Europe they want.
Yeah. I also agree they're going to finish 5th. If Kane goes, they're going to get a lot of money. So if they invest that wisely, and hopefully they do, bring in the right players, they'll be competing. If Kane stays, that's a bonus for him as well. Heung-min Son has just signed a new deal with him. Like you said, all the wheels gone, but I feel like he's gone for a bit of a paycheck to the club he's gone for. One last paycheck before he finishes. But he's been there for 6 seasons. He's done his dues there, so that's great for him. But I think he could be replaceable. He was coming towards the end of his career, so I do feel like he can be replaced. But they are going to be in and around Europe again. I don't think they'll be as high as 4th, but I do think they'll get Europe and finish 5th.
Yeah.
Watford, the last of the new boys.
I think they'll finish bottom, mate. They don't inspire me at all. They've got an inexperienced manager in there. Have they strengthened that much? No, not really. I think they'll go straight back down.
No, I feel like if you look at Watford's squad, you've got the cycling GK himself, Ben Foster. You've got...
He's getting on a bit though, isn't he?
Yeah. He's said on a podcast himself that he's going to have one more year at Watford and he's going to look to go and play in the MLS. But with his injuries, what he had last season, he did become a lot of a second choice. But you got Will Hughes, who's played in the Premier League quite a bit, got relegated with him, come back up. I think he can do good. The Ismail Sarr, he's going to be like the Ivan Toney for Watford. Maybe the guy to rely on. Troy Deeney, he's proven. Andre Gray, he's had his a bit of a time in the Premier League. So I feel going forward, they have a great chance. But I'm going to think they're going to shock a lot of people this season. I'm going to think they're going to be the team what finishes 11th.
Wow. Interesting.
For the last 2 seasons, you've had a promoted side, whether it be Sheffield United or Leeds, what have gone on to finish in the top half of the table. Now, it's not top half of the table, but I feel like they'll be around there. I feel like they're going to have a great season this year.
Fair point.
Coming on to West Ham. So for West Ham, I'm just going to put 6th. I think they'll have another great season again. I think Moyes has done great in terms of the signings he's made recently. And I feel like if they get Lingard back, if he doesn't stay at Man U, and if they keep Jared Bowen, I think they got a great chance of being up there again.
Yeah, that's what's got me thinking, mate. If they get Lingard back, the 7th. If they don't, the 13th, in my opinion.
Now, just to help you out a bit, so I'll finish my table off with Wolves in 13th, is do you think Wolves are going to finish as high as 7th after the season they had last season?
That's the thing. I mean, the manager's brought in again. He's not Premier League experienced. They have got the same squad pretty much, though, haven't they? That have done well in the Premier League like in recent years and got to places like 7th. That's the problem. I was trying to get into this part. But can West Ham do well without Lingard? Well, are they going to bring him in? Is Jesse Lingard going to get into that Man United team?
I don't think so.
West Ham are going to finish 7th and Wolves are going to finish 13th. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go for it again, yeah. West Ham above Arsenal.
Oh.
Caps lock.
So we've got West Ham. Oh, again, that took him off. West Ham in 7th and, like me, Wolves in 13th. I just feel like Wolves, they've had a few good seasons. Towards the back end of last season with Nuno going, I feel like it's going to be a new building process with him. And I think 13th will probably be about right for them. So, guys, this is my table and Jake's table for the Premier League 2021-22 season. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Who do you think is going to be the shock of the season? I certainly think it's going to be Watford.
I think Brentford.
And who do you think is going to be the team get relegated? Is it going to be some of the new boys? Is it going to be some of those what's been in and around relegation? Or is it going to be a shock relegation on the cards? Let us know below. Let us know in the comments below, guys.
And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
Cheerio.